And we're back with our last video. All right, now in summary of all the things that we've talked about, we want to talk about the Peak Fitness client flow. Okay, so what happens when a client first comes into our gym? You know, what are the steps that they take? What are we looking to, what is the direction that we're looking to take the client, you know, when they come in? All right, first and foremost, the clients are going to start out in stage one, okay, which are basically either boot camp or small group training. All right. We're focusing at that point on basic habits, okay? We're trying to get the client to develop a specific interest, meaning whether it be running, softball, baseball, you know, soccer, whatever. You know, simply asking the client, you know, what were you doing when you were in the best shape of your life? What sports did you enjoy as a kid? Something like that, where they're like, oh, I like to play groups, I like softball, or I enjoy whatever. You know, based upon that, we want to encourage them to join some sort of extracurricular activity outside of the gym, okay? Because in reality, training at our gym is great, but it amounts to working out, okay? And that's a chore. We want them to also be able to focus on something that they perceive to be fun, okay? So something like a race, and running is something that's popular with a lot of our clients, all right? They train for 5Ks, like today they're doing the Gasparilla 8K. That's awesome because that gives them a reason to be there, okay? And that's one of the big things that is going to drive motivation for a lifetime. So that's a big rock right there. So that's what we talk about when we say developing a basic interest, okay? From there, we're also going to look at habits, okay? We're going to ask the client, you know, what disconnects currently keep them from where they want to be, okay? Is sleep quality an issue currently? You know, is the client not eating during the day, thus they don't have energy? Maybe they're in an unsupportive work environment. We're not going to be able to solve everything the client has going on in their lives, but what we can do is just give them simple homework to work on outside of the gym, okay? And that's the whole idea of coaching, habits-based coaching versus just training somebody. That's why I want you to think of yourself as a coach, because we have to take personal interest in these people, all right? We have to get them to bring this stuff into their lives somewhat and just give them simple assignments to work on at home. All right, from a fitness perspective, we're focusing on basic movement patterns and endurance, okay? We're helping the client to deadlift better, hip hinge, you know, squats, pushing, pulling patterns, just basic bodyweight exercises that reinforce proper movement, okay? We want to prepare the client for more intense training in the future, but before we can do that, we have to make sure that they move well and they have the capacity to support that. So in the beginning, it's going to be a lot more mobility. We're going to be doing a lot of basic movement patterns, and we're trying to make exercise fun to some degree, okay? It's more about the experience in the beginning because the client's not necessarily committed at that point. So especially at first, we really have to pay a lot more attention to them. We have to kind of mix it up a lot, you know, and at the same time, you know, we've got to give them the basics that they need. Okay, we're never going to stray too far from the basic movement patterns with the beginner because that's what we need to do is just drill these things repetitively. All right, and this really encompasses step 1 and step 2. But once the client can, you know, possesses a basic proficiency in bodyweight exercises, then we start to introduce more structured strength training. All right, we're talking about dumbbell presses, basic barbell exercises, that sort of thing. All right, at this point, once they understand our system, we're going to start teaching our clients to log their workouts, all right, and to start to chart their progress. All right, that's the next step. And when they see themselves making progress, that's what is going to take them from this make exercise fun mentality to setting basic goals and objectives. All right, this is the continuum that we're looking to bridge, because once the client is here in step 2, we can get them to commit to longer cycles. We can make sure that, you know, we don't have to coddle them all the time. They're starting to be able to read their own workout charts, execute their own workouts, and they've become more of a mature trainee. And that's what we want, because that ultimately is going to allow us to administer our classes smoother, okay, versus having a class of 5 people that do not know what they're doing, you know, and we're having to train them really remedially in sort of this more boot camp setting as a result. So our goal is to get them here. All right, step 3 is to get them into specific program design. Okay, specific meaning goal-focused training, outcome-based motivation, greater volume and more complex programming. All right, and if you like to make clients do, if you like to kind of learn about training, do more advanced things with your clients, push them to another level, this is where we want to get the client, because at this point we're going to be able to throw a lot more at them. They're going to be more devoted to training. You're going to be able to give them more specific goals to focus on. And with this, we're talking about 8+ week cycle. All right, we could be training for a client for a goal that's 6 months down the line. But as you can see with our goal or our commitment, it begins at 4 weeks, which is short term, because that's really the kind of the level of motivation that client possesses at that time, and it progresses to multiple months and longer term goals. All right, and that's generally the way that we work. Not only do we build their fitness, but we also build their motivation and their dedication. So that's really a broad overview of what we're trying to do with our system, and the optimal goal for every client. Not every person is going to get there, but that is the goal. So welcome to the family. This is me with, during my first year of opening my gym, along with along with 5 girls that are still with me, okay? And these are great examples of people that started in more of a boot camp setting, which they were definitely in there. My mom's there on the right, to people that now they're doing strength training, they're doing conditioning work, and, we've seen dramatic physical change in them because they've stuck with it long enough to really see that change, okay? And you're going to, if you take 5 clients that you have today, chances are maybe two of those clients will make it to that point, all right? But that's the goal, is to bring them from point A to point C, all right? And really, the way that we commit clients is to teach them through this model, all right, this small group training model. It's going to keep them accountable, it's going to allow us to be successful, and it's going to, help you as a coach to build your clientele, all right? So this is our first presentation. Email me with any questions, and I hope you enjoy yourself.